Wielding both might and magic, this class can dart across the battlefield from one target to the next and become an unstoppable flurry of blades. The Mystic Spearhand is an extremely offensive and highly mobile class that requires a lot of input in order to reach its full potential. If you like all gas and no brakes, more button presses and holds, and if you enjoy looking extremely sleek and stylish while doing it, then the Mystic Spearhand is your vocation. Hi, my name is Ravinour, and welcome to my guide on Mystic Spearhand. So first, really quick, how you unlock the Mystic Spearhand is really simple. If you follow the main storyline enough, you'll find the town of Melve. After completing the monster calling quest given by Captain Brant in the capital, you can go back to Melve and find it under attack by a dragon with a bad acne condition. After the encounter, look around for a hooded man with a duo spear on his back. This is Sigurd, and he'll unlock the Magic Spearhand vocation for you. If you use a ballista, you can slay the dragon instead of letting it fly away, allowing you to unlock a strong duo spear early on and give access to this class's ultimate weapon skill, Wild Fury. Don't worry though, you can encounter and slay the dragon later on to unlock the very same weapon and skill after you gain access to the region of Batal by going over here. The most interesting and key aspect about Mystic Spearhand is, by far, its vocation action, which takes multiple forms. This is by default your R1 button on a PlayStation controller, and it is arguably your most important button. Redoubted Bolt is what you get if you release R1 before charging for at least 2 seconds, and is almost always a misfire. What you want instead is to hold R1 for more than 2 seconds to get the much more effective Forbeding Bolt. Forbeding Bolt causes the enemy hit to move extremely slowly, almost completely still. What makes this ability so interesting is the fact that Forbeding Bolt can be charged while moving and attacking. Once you land a Forbeding Bolt, you can hit its button again to turn it into a Scattering Bolt, creating an explosion of its effect around the target. This ability is core to Mystic Spearhand because it makes up for its weakness of not easily being able to deal damage to multiple enemies at once. Keep in mind that none of these bolts deal any damage whatsoever, so don't count on it for picking enemies off at a distance. It is useful in just about every other way as a means to engage or to almost permanently disable an enemy for good. Quick Thought is a core skill that you unlock at rank 2 and is the reason why good usage of Forbeding Bolt is absolutely vital to a good flow with Mystic Spearhand. By pressing the jump button as soon as you land a Forbeding Bolt, the Mystic Spearhand will instantaneously teleport in front of its target. This lets you dart around the battlefield between enemies with ease, allowing you to quickly dispatch foes one at a time. One key thing I have to mention with this ability is that the game tells you how you can use Quick Thought right after a Scattering Bolt. So the idea is you would hold R1 for 2 seconds, release R1 for Forbeding Bolt, press R1 as soon as it lands for Scattering Bolt, then after press the jump button to activate Quick Thought. In my experience, the timing on this is extremely narrow. It's not immediately after landing Scattering Bolt, but you can't delay it for too long either. It's not easy to pull off. Quick Thought is a lot easier to pull off after a Forbeding Bolt, and so in most scenarios, I make a choice between Quick Thought and Scattering Bolt, instead of using both like how the game says you can do. I would suggest you to try the timing on Quick Thought after Scattering Bolt only when you're opting to use Scattering Bolt, since it can be extremely disruptive to your flow when you don't get a Quick Thought when you need it. Forbeding Bolt is core to this class's kit. It allows you to pile on damage against larger foes by keeping them locked, and gives you the space to dispatch multiple foes without having to worry about getting whacked from behind with Scattering Bolt. The only drawback to all of this is that you will not recover stamina while charging this ability, making stamina management vital to this class's performance. This is how you're going to want to use this ability. When approaching an encounter, stop sprinting and try to enter the battle with a full bar of stamina. Whenever it is full, begin charging Forbeding Bolt, then use it to engage. While battling, you're going to want to start charging it when you have enough stamina to use your abilities. While charging, you want to be attacking and activating weapon skills in order to defeat your enemies as quickly as possible while keeping a close eye on your stamina. The only things that cost stamina are weapon skills, and not core skills like your light and heavy attacks. So, when you're low on stamina, stop using skills, and use basic attacks while you allow your stamina to replenish. Mystic Spearhand is almost purely offensive, and you're practically always meant to be attacking. Dragoon's Stab, or Dragoon's Foin when improved, is a very important basic skill for Mystic Spearhand. Activating it propels you forward or towards an enemy to stab them, with the improved form simply tacking on additional magic damage. This is a very core ability to the Mystic Spearhand's kit for most of, if not the entire time you'll be playing as this class, purely for the mobility it provides. Not only are you able to engage enemies with this ability, but you can disengage by moving away and activating it as well, since you will dash forward in whatever direction your character is facing. You can use the skill while in the air, allowing you to cross large gaps too. This lets you weave in and out of line of fire indefinitely, and it's also a very fast form of travel outside of combat given its low stamina cost and almost non-existent end lag. One thing I need to say is to not bother with Magic Cut, or this class's strong attack. The attack comes out way too slowly for too little damage, and unless you're using it to trigger a follow-up attack on a flinched or downed enemy, chances are you are better off spamming light attacks. Magic Cut does have range and can cleave through multiple enemies, but the damage isn't worth it and there are way better options. How you're going to deal most of your damage is with the light attack button. Twine Cut is the default attack, and it is a relatively fast series of attacks that freely flow into each other. The best part of this button is Winding Cut, unlocked at rank 4. Winding Cut is done by pressing light attack 4 times while doing any action. If it's not coming out, then you need to press them a little faster. Winding Cut is a spinning series of slashes in front of your character, and you can repeatedly press the button to continue spinning with a slightly stronger slash at the end of the combo when you either stop pressing the button fast enough or at the end of a 10-second timer. It's a very effective attack when attacking a larger enemy's vitals, such as an ogre or a griffin's head, and its hitbox extends below your character, allowing you to stand on top of an enemy while doing it. You can walk while using Winding Cut, but keep in mind that the direction you're facing is locked while spinning, and freed up when going for that ending slash, so use that to make adjustments. You can interrupt any one of these attacks with the released Forbeding Bolt, so use it freely. The reason why you're going to be using light attack a lot is because since it's not a weapon skill, you are able to regenerate your stamina during it. The way this class wants to play is by engaging with either Quick Thought or Dragoon's Foin, then staying on your enemy for as long as possible with precision defense spells or counters. A core skill for this infighting playstyle is Skiedragoun's Fangtooth, or Skiedragoun's Feste when improved, which is an instant cast counterattack that allows the Mystic Spearhand to quickly disappear and counter the enemy with a plunging stab from above. It does more damage when evading an attack, further encouraging you to latch onto an enemy and never let go. As soon as you think you're about to eat a fist or a Cyclops' butt, activate Skiedragoun's Feste and continue to pile on the attacks. Feste is your instantaneous get out of jail free card. There's no cast time and it completes really quickly. There's almost always a way to use it. That all said, Mirour Vesture is an absolutely broken spell when the need arises. For a bit of stamina, you create a magical barrier for you and all your allies within range. This barrier lasts a very short time, with Mirour Shelde unlocked later to improve this duration slightly. This barrier nullifies all types of damage for the entire duration. The cast time isn't too slow, so you can use this on reaction against otherwise devastating attacks like a Drake's Meteor spell, which could normally destroy your entire crew of pawns. When I see a Drake begin casting either Meteor or its Lightning Storm spells, I give my pawns the To Me command, then cast Mirour Shelde, completely shielding and protecting all of us so that we can stay in the fight. I cannot understate how incredibly important and useful this spell is. It may not be necessary for every encounter, but for the ones that need it, it's indispensable. I think one build that anyone can use is Dragoon's Foin, Skiedragoun's Feste, Mirour Vesture, and a flex skill. Use the off-range spell for enclosed areas and encounters with numerous small enemies to toss them around. Magic Spearhand versus flying enemies like the White or Griffin. Unto Heaven if you like launching small children, or Setching Storm if you like pressing a lot of buttons for not so much damage. I think Magic Spearhand is really fun with how flexible it is. Now I want to talk about the Mystic Spearhand's most damaging and game-changing skill, Wild Fury. Wild Fury is the Mystic Spearhand's Meister skill and is locked behind Sigurd's quest that is completed upon slaying the Pimple Dragon. Like I said earlier, you can unlock this early, but you can also easily unlock this after gaining access to Batal. Once you learn this skill, you will gain access to a devastating flurry of attacks that absolutely rips through enemies both large and small. Activating Wild Fury allows you to blink a short distance in front of you, or in front of a foe if there's one nearby, and in the direction your character is facing, summoning a clone and performing a damaging combo with more button presses. When the combo finishes, your character performs a really cool and damaging somersault slash. Doing so will drop enemy health bars very quickly, but it comes at a steep cost. The stamina cost per hit is huge, which is why this changes so much about how this class plays prior. In order to use Wild Fury to its fullest potential, you should consider equipping a Ring of Tenacity for extra stamina so you can complete the combo, and we also have to pair it with another useful skill, Death's Hand. Theft's or Ravinour's Hand is an extremely close range and foe specific ability that allows you to grab an enemy in front of you in order to drain their life so that you can gain stamina, unlocking at rank 3. You press this ability's button repeatedly to drain for longer, but especially for foes on Batal, and even though you're draining health, don't expect to be dealing any meaningful damage with this skill. The purpose of the skill is purely to just fuel Wild Fury, your main damage source. It's important to note that you cannot use this against spirits or other non-corporeal enemies, so make sure you pick your fights accordingly. How I play currently is with Wild Fury, Ravinour's Hand, Skiedragoun's Feste, and Magic Shelde. I like having both defensive skills as options to continuously pile on damage. It's what I feel the most comfortable with, but you could argue that either Feste or Shelde can be swapped for a flex spot depending on the encounter. You may have noticed that I don't use Dragoon's Foin in this build, despite saying it was a core skill earlier. One of the things I've found when playing with Wild Fury is that I don't actually need Dragoon's Foin all that much. The reason why I say it's a core skill is because you're going to use it for the majority of the time you're ranking up the Magic Spearhand, and you might not want to stop using it. With Wild Fury, at least in combat, you are still relatively mobile because it moves you forward a bit, but the real reason why you might not need Foin is because of Quick Thought. Quick Thought allows you to engage your enemy, and since Feste and Magic Shelde allows you to stay on top of your enemies, why would you need to disengage with Foin? When and how I charge Forbeding Bolt changes with this build. Usually I will stop charging Forbeding Bolt when I see my stamina go low, but your stamina will always drop when playing with Wild Fury. So what I do instead is, even while attacking with Wild Fury, I will continue to hold Forbeding Bolt. After the combo is done, I will release it, and immediately after I will start holding Forbeding Bolt again. The reason I can do this is because while I hold Forbeding Bolt with almost no stamina, I'll activate Ravinour's Hand and repeatedly press it until my stamina is full. If I'm about to be attacked at any time during this, I'll let go of the charge to start regaining stamina, then defend with Shelde or counter with Feste. But otherwise, I'll just continue to swing with Wild Fury. Altogether, this makes for a very fun and engaging playstyle that feels very satisfying to play and constantly rewards you for your situational awareness and execution. Magic Spearhand is my favorite class as of now, but I'm wanting to try and cover many others. Let me know what you guys think I should cover next. Hope this guide helped. My name is Ravinour, and I'll see you all on the next one.